Hey guys, welcome back to Buy or Skip, and this is our first new TV review for 2026. Behind me is the TCL X11L SQD-Mini LED TV. If you've been following my videos here on the channel the last couple of weeks, I've been talking about it a lot, so it's super exciting that we've already got it in for testing. Only problem, TCL only had an 85-inch unit, which does not fit in our current studio, so we're here at my place. Had to get a little creative with the setup. I promise it's not going to be staying here like this, but for the sake of getting a review done, since you can already buy the TCL X11L now, this is what we're going to be working with. And on that note, I will link the X11L down in the description in case you want to check it out at any point during this video. As I've already established, this is the 85-inch X11L, which costs $8,000, which probably makes it the most expensive TV I've ever had in my home. It also does come in a 98-inch size for $10,000, and just if you're spending that much anyway, I do think it's probably worth going for the larger size, or jump down to the 75-inch size for $7,000 maybe. Obviously, it depends on your budget and your space needs, but I do think the 98-inch is probably the smartest move, especially when deals start dropping the price down. And you know, it's really interesting seeing TCL push into the premium market more. This costs double the brand's flagship from last year, but I'm really hoping that TCL stays committed to good discounts and deals, including the X11L in them. I've already done a video that goes more in depth on how SQD or Super Quantum Dot Mini LED compares to other TV technologies, but for the sake of buying a new TCL TV compared to the brand's QD Mini LED TVs, SQD has more zones, more brightness, and a more capable color filter. But TCL is really leaning on being the leader in SQD, and in fact, is bringing SQD to the TCL QM7L and QM8 lower cost options coming later this year. In fact, if you are interested in SQD, which there is good reason to, I'll get there in just a sec, it might be worth waiting until we get those additions to the lineup to compare. All right, let's talk performance, because this is where the X11L really makes its case. Starting with brightness, we measured about 2,700 nits in HDR, which puts it right up there with sets like the Sony Bravia 9 and basically at the top of what we've seen from mini LED TVs. It is not the 10,000 nits that TCL claims. We did get something a lot closer in a 1% very small screen measurement, but typically we measure at a 10% window as our standard, but still, what we got is very, very good. And honestly, numbers only tell half the story here. What impressed me more is how this TV actually handles bright scenes without colors falling apart. A lot of TVs can spike brightness in the lab test, but once you throw some bright greens or reds on the screen, they either look artificial or worse, washed out. Here, the colors stay rich even when the whole screen lights up, which makes HDR movies and sports look awesome even in a fairly bright room. And I'll be honest, blooming was my biggest concern going into this review. The first time I saw this TV was in a very controlled demo environment, and sometimes those don't translate to real living rooms. But here at home, the blooming has been almost non-existent. Any glow you might be catching on camera is honestly more about how insanely bright the TV actually is than backlight issues. In real viewing, blacks stay impressively clean. Color performance, very interesting too, because TCL made a big claim here about hitting 100% of the BT 2020 color space, which realistically no TV actually does. But when we tested it, coverage landed around 92%, which maybe sounds like a miss, but here's the context. Almost no TVs get past the low 80s, and many sit in the high 70s range. Only one set we've tested so far has slightly beaten the X11L. It's the Hisense UX. And sure, most content isn't even mastered to that full color space yet, so this is not something that viewers will consciously notice. But it does show that TCL can get exceptional color coverage without needing one of those newer RGB backlight systems that, you know, we've been talking about a lot in the last couple of months. It's shaping up to be a very interesting backlight arms race, so to speak, but this proves that you don't necessarily need a fancy new approach to get great color. So brightness, excellent. Color, excellent. Where things are not quite as perfect is motion. Input lag measured around 11 milliseconds in game mode, which is mostly fine for gaming and watching, but I did notice some motion smearing in certain fast-moving scenes. It's not really a deal breaker compared to how strong everything else looks, but it is the one area where this TV shows a few cracks. With so much TV to work with, no, like this thing is massive, guys. We've got very powerful speakers baked in. TCL is licensing Bang & Olufsen, so lots of branding around the actual chassis for it, but basically this thing has plenty of sound and could very well get away without having a soundbar. That said, if you are getting something this premium and doing an install, you want to make a really immersive viewing experience, I almost always recommend still getting a soundbar or sound system. You might want to check out TCL's Dolby Atmos Flex Connect system. It's relatively good value, and if you're already going to be going through a hassle to set up this huge TV, flexible surround sound might make things a little bit easier. TCL sticks with Google TV. It's been a couple of years now. I remember actually checking out the first TCL Google TV back in 2021, but anyway, if you've been to my TV reviews before, you know that I am a Google TV fan. It's super easy to get signed into with all my apps, plays nice with YouTube TV, which is also my cable alternative of choice. But the TCL X11L has 4 HDMI 2.1 inputs and 1 for eARC, so you could use a streaming device of your choice, you can add your PlayStation, plenty of flexibility. The only thing that's actually not flexible are these feet you're seeing here. They're so far apart, so if you're not mounting this, make sure you have a big enough table, unlike I did. Lastly, let's look at this remote. I always really like TCL TV remotes. Feels premium, very smart button layout, a couple of launchers, it's backlit, obsessed, but it also has something I've never seen before. There's a brightness control rocker. You guys, the amount of times that I wished I could manually dim the TV when I'm like trying to go to bed or take it easy on my eyes, instead of digging into settings, this is a shortcut to adjust brightness on the fly. So cool, at least to me, but let me know if you're as into this feature as I am. If you want one of the brightest, best looking mini LED TVs you can buy right now, and you've got the space and the budget for it, the TCL X11L is an easy buy. The brightness is incredible, colors look fantastic, blooming is barely noticeable, and you're getting premium features across the board to match those price tags. It absolutely feels like TCL is stepping into the high-end TV arena, making a statement. But, and this is a very important but, this is still an $8,000 or $10,000 TV. Motion isn't perfect, the stand setup is a little awkward, and TCL is bringing the same SQD tech to more affordable models later this year. So if you're not in a rush or you want better value, waiting or going with one of those cheaper models might make more sense. Wait to see what trickles down. That'd be my advice, you know? Thanks for watching Buy or Skip. If you want to see how this stacks up against the next big TVs coming in 2026, make sure you're subscribed to the channel because we've got a lot more testing coming soon. That's it for me for this one. I will catch you guys next time.